Okay, guys, this is going to be my review of the classic and very high regarded The Godfather. Godfather Part 1, the first one, the 1972 film. And I really liked it. Obviously I needed, some stuff, to kind of like really understand the story and understand all the little stuff. Because I think what it really is, what part of the genius of this film is that every line and every scene gets called back or has high importance, because it's like you would think like, okay, the scene where it's like the husband's abusing the wife, abusing the Corleone sister. You're like, oh, how is that important? And then by the end of the film, you're like, that's a very important scene, and it's stuff like that. It's the Godfather telling him that whoever's gonna tell you that the that the crime family wants to set up a meeting is a traitor, and obviously that happened at the funeral, and it's the simple stuff, and calling back about the stuff with the tomatoes, where every time you see a tomato, bad stuff is gonna happen. It's these little things, it's these little simple things that make this a epic of the genre, an epic of a film, and I think with again like great performance, great cast, twists and turns throughout, and no one's safe in this film. No one is. No one is. I wouldn't think Sonny would get killed, and he got killed. I wouldn't think, Vito would die, and he died. And I didn't know, no one's safe. And also, no one's not safe. You never know what's happening. And, one of my favorite moments is when, Michael Corleone is hired the people to kill all the crime family leaders. And it's stuff like that. It's this great film of a rise and fall and rise again of a crime family. It is a very complex and intertwining story, and I think I never really got confused about the story. I just got confused of because all the characters like look pretty similar, like Sonny and the daughter's husband look like similar, and the bodyguards all look similar, and Salazzo and the driver look similar. So it's my confusion came to all the characters look the same, and all the names get confused a little bit. That was only real my confusing is like what character is that? What character is that? So I think obviously I need to rewatch this film a couple of times. But even on my first viewing, there was shocking stuff, and I love the different locations. I love that it was like all, it was all practical and sets, and that it went to Italy, and the dialogue, and again the stuff that the cleverness of the script and story of pay attention to every little detail, and it really becomes marvelous when you do. And again, like the rise and fall of this crime family, and doing clever things. This film again was very clever, from popping up the jackets to make it seem like you're bodyguards, and and then knowing that the driver was bad because he called out sick the same day that the guys did a drive-by shooting or a walk-by shooting, whatever. And it's these little things that make it so clever. So what do you think they do? They kill him. What do they think they do with Mo Green when he won't give up the casinos? Shoot him. And it's these clever things where it's like on top of entertaining character dynamics, a story that keeps unfolding, that isn't fully unfolded. I'm excited to see part 2. So I think it is a very a great film with every aspect of a film at peak level. But yeah, it'll still take me a few times to rewatch it to truly sit on my full opinion, because this full time I would constantly need to be fed some of the information that I couldn't pick on because but yeah, because I think obviously there's great quotes. I love the scene when he figures out that the horse head is in the bed, and them trying to get in the drug business, but and the killing. I just that image always stays in my head where Salazzo's bodyguard starts to choke the undercover bodyguard, and you just see his eyes like pop open. It came out like the beginning of the film, but I think that there's a lot of clever stuff in this film. And from again like the husband abusing Sonny's sister, in hopes that Sonny would go after would go to his sister. But to get to his sister, he needed to go through the ticket station. The ticket stations were run by one of the crime families, and so at that point they can shoot him once they have to give up the ticket. It is these little things, these little nuggets that make this film clever and smart, and always on the edge of your seat, because you never know who's safe, who's gonna get killed. And I think Vito's death was also very sad, because yes, he's a big crime boss, but they're able to do it in such a sad way by having him play with his grandson. And since when he collapsed on the floor, his grandson just thinks it's part of the game. I think they're able to make a character who is a villainous character. They're all villains at the heart of it, but yet make it so that you care, you feel bad, and you actually feel sad because they killed him with his grandson. I think that makes it sad. And the way it happens, where it's like at first you think he's just playing around, and then it's his coughs and his huffs start to get louder and louder, and then he starts to look dizzy, and you're like, okay, maybe he's still playing. And then you start to realize, wait, is he gonna have a heart attack and die? And then you see him collapse, and at first the son's still laughing because he doesn't know that his grandpa's dying, and then he starts to realize it, and then they cut immediately to the funeral. And it's, again, these little nuggets of cleverness that make this film really good. And definitely want to rewatch it, a couple more times to really get my overall thoughts on really the film, because I've only seen this film once, and there's a lot of stuff to really go through as far as the craftsmanship of the film, but I really did enjoy it for as far as what I've picked up. And I'm sure as I rewatch it multiple times, I will love it more and more, because now I'm just watching it through my 13-year-old's eyes. But it will change as I get older and start to pick up on more things that obviously I couldn't pick up on the first time. I mean, I can go scene by scene about what I enjoyed about this film. I love the opening sequence. What I love about the opening sequence, when the guy's begging for help. What I love about the sequence is it doesn't have to do with the overall story, but it just goes to show the Godfather's power. Where it starts off with this guy is, asking the Godfather to do so many different things, and then it ends with the same guy who is complaining to the Godfather bowing down and calling him Godfather. I think it's the opening sequence does a lot of great things, on top of having that a great iconic quote of I'll make him an offering he can't refuse, but also just showing the Godfather's sheer intimidation, but also power, where he's like, you never befriended me, and stuff like that, and now you come up for me and ask me for help, and I can't do Italian accent, but anyways, it was a really great film, and because I do rewatch it as the years go by. Stay tuned for more videos coming at you.